Okay, so on this video, what we're going to do is work on this extrusion of this boss right here. And to do that, note in this video, or on this part over here, I wanted to create a work plane, but to do that I had to create a work axis. And that axis is going to allow me to define the hinge point of this whole thing. So what I'll do over here is just go to the axis, and that's up here at the top. Click that and grab one of these cylindrical shapes, either the outside or the inside, doesn't really matter. So then what I can do, and notice that does go around to the back here. Okay, so I'll grab that axis, then I want to do a plane, and now I need to do a plane relative to one of these other planes here, and I'll pick the XZ, and it's at 90 degrees right now. I really want that to be, what, probably 60 maybe. Okay, so we can rotate this around and look at that. Is that no, that's 60 degrees, so we really need that to be 30, don't we? So there's our angle for that plane, so we'll accept that, and it's pivoting right through the center because of that axis. Okay, now we might have been able to just use the not the X but the Y axis, excuse me, the Z axis on that, and it would have been fine. So, and we can do that if you want, but I wanted to show you that work axis. So let me delete that real quick, and we'll delete that axis. So we could have done that. We could have just come over here and picked the Z axis and gone plane, and then pick the correct plane to come from, and you can see we can still get that, and that would be 30 degrees, and there's our plane. So that then allows us to establish our sketch plane. So we'll do a 2D sketch on that plane right there. And again, you can hide that work plane if you wish. Okay, so that's, now we're looking straight in on this surface right here, essentially what we're doing. So we'll go in there and draw. Again, I like to draw a rectangle. This is going to be very similar to the last video we did, the last well, on the other side. We want it to be between the inside and this side here. So again, we're just going to rough sketch that, and we'll go back to view, turn that back to wireframe so we can see through there, and we'll project so did we get out of our, no, we're back in. So we'll go back to sketch, and we want to project this line right here. Okay, and we'll make that line construction so we don't confuse anything, and we'll go ahead and create a collinear between this line and that line. And let's see, we drew a construction line, so we'll go over here and hit construction, and we'll come back to line, and it's off of this center point. So there's the origin, and I'm going to come out this way this time, as long as it stays on that axis. Okay, we'll get out of the construction line, and we'll put in a dimension then from this line to this line, and according to the drawing that goes 4 inches to that center, and the overall width of this piece is does it even show it? It doesn't show it, but it's the same as the last one. So we'll go from this edge to this edge, and notice it didn't get that edge, so I'm going to project geometry, and I'll project this edge here, and again I'll change that to construction. Now we'll dimension from that edge to this edge, and that needs to be, what, 1/4 of an inch, and this time I'll do a little different. I'm going to go from this line to this line, 1.5. Okay, now I don't remember, I think I dimensioned from the edge to this edge here, and that's gonna get blown up here pretty shortly. I don't need that line, so I'm going to delete that line, which deletes that right there. So I'll go ahead and put a dimension back in from this line. How about to that point? That's 4 inches. Okay, now I have to be careful because this point right here could move. Oh, sorry, but you can see that moved. So what I'll do is I'll do a, let's see, it looks like we're gonna have to do a, I don't know if we'll get horizontal or vertical to work on this. Let's try horizontal. And we'll go here and there. Okay, and that worked great. And you can see that dashed line in there, so that gave us an indication that that was the case. So then we're going to, that's all constrained per se. The only thing that's not is the length of this construction line, and we really don't care. And actually I could have left that like it was, I guess. And you might, there's several different things we could do here. But we might choose to, and actually this 4 inches is going to be different. So now I'm going to put in a circle, and I'm going to put that circle in along that line and go here, and I'll do another circle and go here. And let's see, we could actually go ahead and put the right sizing on that. So this shows as a 3/4 inch radius, I believe, so that'll be 1.5. And same thing on this one. And then we could also, well, let's see, we can have a dimension from this end here to the center, and that's 1 inch between centers. So if that's 1.5 inches, that'll have to be 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and then from this center to that center is 1 inch. And then the other thing I want to do is let's go ahead and make horizontal the end point of this and that center, and then the end, or the center of that and the center of that. And notice how that fully dimensioned those, or constrained them. So now I'll draw some lines, and I should be able to go from the quadrant to the quadrant, and then the same thing here. And what I'd really like to see is that those are tangent. So let's right click and do a show all constraints. And I don't have to have tangent, as long as I've got tangent on this one and horizontal, then I really don't need tangent there. And I don't see it on there, so let's do a create constraint of tangent. And one thing about it, if you don't need it, it will tell you. So it liked that. Okay, and it liked that, and it may not need it here. See, it says I don't need that. So that's constrained. Then we'll do a trim. Trim this out. That, and that. Oh, and then while I'm at it, I guess I probably ought to trim out this right here. So trim this out, which is going to really screw up my dimensioning again, isn't it? Well, maybe not, because it looks like yeah, I think I really need to take this dimension back out and put a dimension from the center point here to this line. I mean, it is the same number, but I think that locks that in a little better. It still says it needs 3 dimensions, so I noticed this center point is green, so I'm thinking that something, I don't know where that point actually is. Let's take that dimension out here for a second. Notice there's a point there still. Let's see if I can delete that. And I can, so now we've got some other issues. And I've got, let's see, let's go from this center point to the line there. Accept that. And it still says 2 dimensions, so let's, is everything on this, there's a point right there. I don't know where that came from. Let's see if we can delete that. And now it says 1, and that's what we really want because it's just that dimension on that line. So we're finished with that sketch. And let's then extrude that. Again, we want to go both ways. Oh, sorry, I'm not finished with that sketch. Gotta edit that sketch. And I gotta get this out of here, don't I? And then delete or trim out this and that. And notice I don't have a dimension here now. Let's see what we lost. I do have tangent, but I don't have a tangent over here, so let's go ahead and put in a tangent between this line and this arc, and this time it accepted it, and it's constrained now. So we'll finish the sketch, and we'll extrude both directions. We want that to be 3/4 of an inch. And we'll go back to shaded. And so we've got that portion of that. So let's stop the video here, and we'll come back then later and cut out that section like we did, much like we did over here, and create the rest of the shape. So we'll stop this one here.